On March 20th. Dear congresspeople, I'll call them people because they want to be correct politically. Congresspeople and representatives. This is federal and state. California's on the brink of bankruptcy, and guess what? They're cutting the educational budget. New York's on the brink of bankruptcy, and guess what? They're cutting the educational budget. Well, on March 20th, millions of Americans are going to march to Washington, D.C. And I have written a request to our congresspeople and representatives. Please do not arrest the millions of Americans that will be marching on Washington, D.C. this March 20th, demanding that education be fully funded by the federal and state governments. Hopefully, they will occupy your offices and demand you sign a pledge not to betray the American people again. You've got a $1.7 trillion military budget. You started an oil war. You lost a couple trillion in Vietnam. Lost $6 trillion in Iraq. Oh, and Iraq is a beautiful story. Beautiful story. They spent $6 trillion on their Gestapo, the private army, that can torture and maim people. They're above the law. Or on our poor soldiers that get blamed for our Gestapo's tactics. I support the soldiers. I don't support the Gestapo or the people in charge that created the Gestapo. These critters, and again, they're sick people. They've not only got the gambling fever, they think they're God. So take your Bible and pray for these critters. Bush, Clinton, and Obama. They ruled this country for 20 years. And what have they done? They got us a 51% divorce rate. Isn't that wonderful? What else have they done? Let's have a report card on these critters. Oh, they put us $63 trillion in debt. Oh, wow, isn't that wonderful? They made us a debtor nation. They fought an oil war. Why did they fight an oil war? Because we're out of oil. These critters realize we're out of oil, but gee, Iraq's got oil. Iraq is not run by a nice person, so we'll send our $1 trillion war machine over and invade Iraq. Well, they did. And guess what? They eliminated the Sunnis, who controlled Iraq at that time and were our friends. And they worked for us in an 8-year war against Iran. Well, now they've eliminated the Sunnis, who were also Al-Qaeda, and Saudi Arabia, of course, is one of our main oil suppliers. They installed the Shia government. That's the same religion that's in charge of Iran. Pretty soon they're going to line themselves up and become buddy-buddy. And guess who's going to get their oil? Not us. Oh boy. Yeah, that's called brilliant strategy. Stupid, but brilliant. So now that they've installed a Shia government in Iraq, and they've banned the Sunnis politicians, and pretty soon they're going to be buddy-buddy, they'll say, get out, buddy, American conos. Yankee, go home. And if we refuse, they'll take our guns and shoot at us. Isn't that wonderful? They have howitzers. They have planes. We have trained them in our warfare. They will shoot at us. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, these stupid critters in the military. Yeah. The best thing to do is cut the military budget by 50% and provide America with free universal education and free universal health care, the same as the democratic people of Venezuela have. Secondly, there's one person that wants to save America, and they have an energy plan. It eliminates foreign dependency of oil. Adopt Cleveland Pickens' energy plan and free America from our dependence on foreign oil. Oh, gee. And it ends pollution because there's 80% less pollution if you go to natural gas. Oh, gee, they want to end our dependence on foreign oil. And poor Exxon wouldn't make as much of a profit. So they scrapped that plan. Adopt Dr. Donald Berwin's IHI Institute for Healthcare Improvement Plan by ending medical errors that kill 195,000 Americans each year and reduce healthcare costs by 50%. Oh, gee, they don't mention that we kill 195,000 Americans every year through medical error, the 5th leading cause of death in the United States. Oh, yes. And then the third priority, end pornography in America the same as China did last year. Our politicians not only control pornography, they probably own some of the companies. Let's stop it. China did it in 1 year. We can do it in 1 year. I could. I would gladly do it. What should happen to pornographers now that we put them out of business? Send them to Guantanamo and daily waterboard them. Bush didn't think that was a bad idea. That was a good idea. Then arrest our crooked bankers that were bailed out and took $1 trillion of our taxpayer money. Yeah, we can classify them as economic terrorists for creating the financial instrument called the derivative. Every congressman that voted for the derivative should be bounced out of office. And when the Democrats were elected, they promised to get rid of the derivative. Guess what? He just passed a bill signed by Obama Mama. Obama Mama, who created Obama GM Mobile, to extend the derivative. The bankers have a gambling habit. And now the politicians have a gambling habit. More debt, more debt, more debt. Hear that engine chug? More debt, more debt, more debt. That's all they know how to say. Yep. And arrest all crooked bankers. AIG officers and board of directors were crooked bankers and declare them economic terrorists and send them to Guantanamo for daily waterboarding until they confess, and then place them before a firing squad. We wouldn't have to incarcerate them. Next, end the hate crimes law that bans the Bible and protects the sinful homosexuals in our midst. Now, the homosexuals are condemned in the Bible. Pray for these poor, misguided creatures, but ban them from public office. If they refuse to go, do like the Islamic community. Give them a stoning party. Yes, this is Bill Edmond signing off for another week. Be back with the latest news next week. Bye.